Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Monday, and I am a researcher. I love finding new information and trying new things so I can share it with you, share my experiences, and hopefully motivate you to get started doing something that maybe you didn't think would work for you. This is pretty eye opening. Now, I can't say that 100% of me didn't know any of this information because I've done a lot of research, but I have been coming off carnivore, really lower carb, high fat still, kind of I don't want to say afraid of carbs, but not wanting to gain any weight. So what if I told you that I decided to try the sugar diet? Now, sugar diet sounds crazy, and I like it and I don't like it at the same time, just the sound of it. The sugar diet essentially is making fruits your main fuel source. So, for example, in the morning, you're having a bowl of fruit with honey, and if you'd like to add sugar to it, you can do that. For lunch, you're doing the same thing. For dinner, you could do that same thing. Now, this is the understanding that I have. To lose weight, you have to be under the total calories that you would normally burn off in a day, right? I believe everybody should know that. If you're consuming less calories, of course, you're going to lose weight. When you're doing carnivore, you're eating very high fat, you're eating protein, and you are under calories. I was definitely able to lose weight doing carnivore. The one thing I will say is with carnivore, I felt amazing for the first month, and then going into the second month, not as great. And by the end of the second month, I decided to quit, mainly based on my blood work, where it was showing that I had an elevated level of this hormone that is not good for muscle building. Um, Basically, when you're doing low carb, your cortisol levels rise. You'll find that you're sleeping less, you're getting muscle cramps and such. Now, here's the thing, getting away from carbs while consuming fat will definitely get you to feel better after a few days once you're adapted. But here's the crazy part, so does getting away from fat and getting just on carbs. So at the end of the day, if you go just carb heavy and you go very low fat, very low protein, at the end of the day, your calories are going to be very low, which means that you're going to lose weight. So, ideally, what you want to do is eat as much as possible and still lose weight and feel great. Most people say, well, what's going to happen to your blood markers? In most cases, being overweight is the reason why your blood test results are bad. If you drop 10, 20 pounds, your doctor will probably attest to this, but if you drop 10 or 20 pounds, forget diet. Just say, if I drop 20 pounds, do you think my blood work would get better? If the doctor says yes, then this means that, I don't want to say using any means necessary, right? But it means that if you were to try one of these diets, more than likely by the time you went back and you lost a little bit of weight, your blood work would be better. For me, this is crazy. I'm I'm consuming way more carbs than I did before. I'm not afraid, right? I am healthy. I'm at a very good weight, and for me to try something like this, I almost have nothing to lose except gaining possibly a few pounds or losing a few pounds. For me, last week I decided to start this. In 2 days, I lost 2 pounds, and I was not hungry. I had fruit in the morning, fruit for lunch, and then I had a carb for dinner with a lean protein source. If you're looking to just lose as much weight as possible, as fast as possible, if you just eat fruit all day, you are going to lose weight. Now, let me tell you about how I felt this past week on doing this diet. I felt amazing. My gym performance was absolutely up. Your body uses carbohydrates to exercise. Now, I understand. You may say, well, I'm not working out. Is this going to work for me? Guess what? Just try it. Go to the store, buy some fruit, buy some honey, have it for breakfast, have it for lunch, have it for dinner. Do that maybe just for 2 days and see how you feel. My performance at the gym, excellent. I would say it's 10 out of 10. I am right now I normally drink pre-workout in the morning. I work out in the morning. Normally I would be on an empty stomach. I was training fasted. There's some information about that, about how it could be beneficial. Then there's information on the other side on saying, well, yes, it's beneficial at the moment. However, afterwards, your body then regulates and you're at the same position as if you were to have had something to eat. So ideally what you want is you want to be feeling your best. So in the morning, what I'll do is I'll have a tablespoon of sugar mixed with my pre-workout, a banana, and honey. And I can tell you for sure, right, because I've been doing this for a long time, I feel better at the gym, which means that I could push a little bit more. And if I could push a little bit more, it means that I could help build a little bit more muscle. So these things definitely add up for me as a huge positive. It's still mind-blowing. I've been sharing the information with a couple of people, and I know that previously I was saying the opposite. Here's the most important thing. When you get new information, it makes sense to you, you try it out, and it's working, it's okay to change your stance. The thing that you were doing before, yes, it absolutely works. This new thing that you're doing now, yes, it absolutely works. Now you have the opportunity to share with people, listen, there's more than one way to get this done. Now, what matters to me most is, am I getting good sleep? Do I have good workouts? Do I have a good mood? If I have all those things, I would rather do the diet that's giving me those things as opposed to my workouts are okay, my sleep is not great, my mood is pretty good. I'm going to choose the one that I feel better on. And for me right now, it's the sugar. One of the things I will say with carnivore, I did not need to count calories. Absolutely not. I didn't need to count calories. I ate until I was full. Actually, in one sitting, I ate 1 pound of meat with cheese and bacon on it in one sitting, and I felt fine afterwards. Now I'm doing this diet. Guess what? I still don't have to count calories. That is the beauty of this, is that whether you decide to do a carnivore diet or you decide to do this sugar diet, you don't have to count calories. So then you'll say, well, what if I do it for 2 days and I'm not losing weight? Okay, maybe you need a little bit more time. Or maybe you're eating more fat than you think. So you would have to check the labels. That would be the difference, right? When I was doing carnivore, I was basically just eating meat all the time, which I didn't have to read any labels. This here, when you're doing this, if you decide to just stick to fruit, you don't have to read any labels. But if you decide, well, I want to eat some yogurt or I want to, eat meat, sure. Now you're going to have to check the calories. You're going to have to check how much fat you're consuming, because this is the opposite. The other one is super high fat. This one is super high carbs, and you stay away from the other one. And I'm telling you, it works. For me, losing weight is not the most important thing. For me, the most important thing is getting lean, that's like shredded, and maintaining as much muscle as possible. So if I can do that while eating like this, I'm absolutely going to do it. There's quite a few people talking about this on YouTube now. And if you made it this far through, I know I've been talking for a while, I'm super excited about this. But if you go on YouTube and you look up sugar diet, you'll start to see a bunch of information. One of the stories is this gentleman, overweight, he was pretty heavy, and he lost 12 pounds in 6 days eating fruit, sugar, and honey. All right? This will absolutely work for you, but you have to stay away from the fat. Choose what side you're going to be on. Are you going to be high fat, low carb? I've done that before. Or are you going to be high carb, low fat, which is what I'm currently doing right now. In 2 days, for me, already somebody who's pretty lean, I lost 2 pounds and I did not feel hungry at all because I'm putting a lot of fruit. I'm using apples, I'm using bananas, I'm eating until I feel good and my energy levels are super high. I am noticing that 2 things. One is I am walking way more. And it's just like I can't sit still. I got energy. And then what does that remind you of? It reminds you of kids. Kids that don't stop, they just keep moving, is because they're consuming sugar. Now, Kids can eat sugar and fat, and their bodies can metabolize it way better than us adults, right? Because we have been abusing our systems with that style of eating. But if you go just on the sugar end, kids are going nuts, right? So if you say to yourself, hey, listen, I see these kids, I wish I had all the energy they have. Are you eating like them? If I wanted to look like a bodybuilder, I would have to eat like them. I would have to train like them. There's a lot of things that I would have to do to look like them. So, guys, I'm going to say this is a very good idea. It's healthy. You're eating fruit. Fruit is healthy for you, all right? Don't get caught up on what kind of fruit so much. Berries are very good because they're high in fiber, but you can have oranges, you can have bananas. You can go wild with your fruits. Just maintain the fats. Now, if you decided that you want to do this, I'm going to start a little group for people on Facebook, and you can just join. This is something I'm super excited about. I've been talking about it quite a lot behind the scenes, but one of my buddies decided to try it. He's been having, I don't want to say a difficult time losing weight, but he did it for 2 days, and he lost 2 pounds. I did it for 2 days, and I lost 2 pounds. Again, not feeling hungry. And I asked him, are you eating enough? Do you feel hungry throughout the day? He said, no, I feel good. I'm just surprised that I feel good, and I'm not going crazy eating these other foods. I just want to circle back really quick before I let you guys go to what matters most to me, and it's being lean, all right? I check my body fat religiously because I'm training all the time. Now, my body fat on the caliper, right, that's what I use, has registered 11 on there. So the 11 is the measurement that you're getting between the fat, and it's been like that for quite a while. I have not been able to get the needle to move. I decided to do this diet, and it moved 1 millimeter. And 1 millimeter is 1% less body fat. So in 3 days, according to my caliber, I lost 1% body fat, which is incredible. I yesterday went to mom's house. She made lasagna. I ate it. It was delicious. And I ate some more. So I stepped on the scale this morning. My weight went up. I checked my body fat caliper. It stayed the same. So this, the sugar diet, the fruit diet, you don't need to do it forever. However, if you start to, let's say you want to lose 20 pounds, you do this, you get down to 20 pounds. Now you say, hey, listen, I want to treat myself. I want to eat something. You go, the next day you eat it. You step on the scale, maybe the scale doesn't move, maybe it does. If the scale remains the same, then you can try another day of eating normal. And if the scale moves up, guess what? Use the sugar diet or the fruit diet to bring you back to that weight you want to be at. So I am going to use this until I lose probably about 5 pounds. And I take pictures of myself, I pose, I do all these things. I'll be able to tell the difference on whether this is working out exactly how I want it to, or if there's things that I need to do to alter it. If you are afraid of not having enough protein for the day, then what I'm doing is I'm having about 25 grams of protein for each meal. So that puts me at about 75. Prior to this, I was consuming 150 grams of protein every day. So this is going to be, for me, pretty interesting. I'm going to be under calories, and I want to see what happens to my muscles. I want to see what happens to my body. I want to see what happens to my energy. At the gym, I am pushing myself more. If I'm doing any type of cardio, which I've been using the elliptical, I'm looking at the RPMs, the speed that I'm going at, and I'm going faster. I'm noticing that my body temperature is higher. Well, what's happening? My body is taking that additional sugar and it's using it. It's using it to burn off. And if you're feeling warmer throughout the day, it's because your body is using that sugar. Now, if you're doing carnivore or keto, you may notice the opposite, that you're cold throughout the day. You're saying, oh man, I'm really like cold. Yeah, because your body is not using anything to burn off to create heat. In this case here, it's taking the sugar and it's burning it off. So unfortunately at work I'm like hot. Everybody's like cold. I got the AC going, and it's just very interesting. So I hope you guys have a great week. No matter what you're looking to do, know that I got your back. You can always send me a message. I'm here to listen to what you have and offer some advice. If you're just looking for someone to vent to, I am probably not that person. It's very hard for me to sit back and listen to all the problems that you have without offering something that could possibly help you out, because I do, at the end of the day, want you to be happier. Some people, after they vent, they feel better. But then for how long? A day or two? And then they're talking about the same thing? Let's not do that. All right, guys. I'm sorry I kept you so long, but I miss you guys. I'm so ecstatic about doing this. I'm going to keep you guys updated. And again, if you decide to join along, you can send me a message. I'll start a little group and we can kind of not challenge each other, but root each other on. This may not be something easy for you. It may be hard for you to wrap your mind around consuming more carbohydrates because you've been feeling like you shouldn't be doing that. So the results will show for the people who show up and they put it to the test. All right, guys.